Okay, it's still Bob Frizzell. I just turned my hat around backwards so that you could see that this is part two of my talk. And I'm always digging deep within. I told you I didn't want to drag the past, but sometimes I just got to go back. Something within us has got to come out. Something creative inside of us has got to come out to help us. And this particular body that I'm in, it's very fatigued. It seems to get attacked by demonic energies. I get like ringing in the ears, and I've got what I call telepathy with spirits who quite often drive me crazy, and I wish I could shut them out. What is the big plan? The spirits don't know why they're talking to me. What comes out from within is I'm supposed to keep working on getting all of you to let go. Because a lot of you are not interested in anything at all. So you're dragging around heavy weight, so much heavy weight that you're exhausted and you don't want to listen to me tell you drop all of the shit that you're carrying on with. And it's a lot of times with people, it's like, I got to buy a new car, which means I'm signing up for a new 8-year payment program, which means I got to stay in the same job. I mean, you're tying yourself down for 8 years at the same job that you've been doing the last 8 years. When are you ever going to get free? You're 8 years older when this one comes up, and then you do it again and you overbuy. You buy some super expensive thing when you could have bought a used car. And then, even if you save the money on the car, then you buy a more expensive house or a new couch or a new TV set or a new trip to Jamaica. It's like you're wasting all your money because you don't have a vision for the future, for you. You don't have a vision for the planet. Pretty soon you're going to be dead, and then all your children are going to say, well, this is how mom and dad did it, and they're going to do the same thing. What do I need to let go of? I can't even understand why my body is sick. I can't understand it. It has something to do with these, what I call the spirits that came to me, because they came to me and one day they said, we're going to dump barrels and barrels of karma into your body. And they said it was coming from the fairies and the elves. Why? That's all they said. And then the next thing you knew, my body, it was like voodoo. It was like voodoo, and my body just could feel all of this painful shit in my body, and it's still there. It might not be fairies and elves, that's what they said they were. It could be what? Scalar waves? I've talked about scalar waves before. They're not really taught in school, they're not really taught in university, but they're consciousness waves. And mythology from Atlantis is they use scalar waves to attack one another. So it might not be demons, it could be artificial intelligences programmed to act demonic. I still keep digging deeply, and I keep talking to these spirits. What do you want? And they don't want anything except to keep bothering me. They don't know. So if they're artificial intelligences, they're not programmed to know, and they are not programmed to update their programming. And if they're negative entity spirits, um, we don't think they are. We think somehow they are artificial intelligences. And are they from They're part of the holodeck. The holodeck basically keeps us busy here. That's what I said in my last lecture. Planet Earth is not a planet, it's a hologram. It's a holodeck like in Star Trek. And it's like the Matrix. Do you remember the Matrix? It was the Matrix is all like all those numbers and letters that would come down your screen. They'd show that from time to time. What is all that stuff? It means there's a lot of shit in here. Who built it? Who put us in here? Oh, Rumpelstiltskin, long time ago, said it had something to do with. It had something to do with G.I. Gurdjieff, who was an Armenian who was trying to synthesize um, a lot of different spiritual teachings to come up with something good, and he didn't. It was basically cuckoo. But he came up with a number of books, and one day I was driving around with Rumpelstiltskin, and we put on from YouTube, I believe it was Beelzebub's Tales to His Grandson, and it didn't even sound like the book. Maybe a little bit, because I had started reading the book. It's a huge book and it's impossible to read. But at one point in the story, they took someone and they put the person into hermetically sealed glass box, a glass coffin. Hermetically sealed means if you took glass and then you sealed the glass up, this glass coffin, and then there's no air coming in or out. Nothing can come in or out. You're stuck in a box. And then Rumpelstiltskin reminded me of an old TV show from the 1970s called Circle of Fear. It was like on CBS and it was a scary thing. He reminded me of a lot of TV shows that I watch, horror movies, and he said, "This is you. You're in my hermetically sealed box." And Rumpelstiltskin was a demonic piece of horrible nightmare. He tortured me for a long time, got right into my head. So, what do I want to tell you about it? Well, moving along, if I'm in a hermetically sealed box in a holographic reality that ain't natural, and sometimes I say basically what we are is awareness of all this stuff, but quite often I wonder, how do we even come up with the information? And there's so many other tangents I can go off to reinterpret what it means to be human, but it doesn't get you anywhere. And I've got one of these demonic entities that's breathing in the back of my head. You don't understand how horrible it is to have demonic entities attack you and never leave you alone for years. And they don't have anything to do except bother you. It's like Monsters, Inc. And we haven't progressed in 3 years. It's been a long process of coming to the point where I keep digging for something new to tell the demonic entities, and I tell them they're stuck in instincts. Their instinct is to do the same thing they did again yesterday, today. I call them toilet turds because they're like toilet turds going down the toilet, the Coriolis effect. They just spin down and then they're down the toilet. And they never swim against the current. And that's probably why humans are the same way, because they have a lot of demons that don't want to change. And the humans, therefore, are following along the same path as the previous human who basically died and became spirits to haunt you. Is it true? I don't think so. I think the hologram keeps changing the story because the hologram itself is intelligent, but I'm getting like a ringing in my left ear. It means it's a demonic feed. Right ear, they say it's not demonic. Left ear, it's demonic. You hear like a tone. I don't know. It's just what some commentator said. We always go by it. But what does it mean? The hologram itself doesn't want to change. It likes to keep you and me trapped inside. A long time ago, something that told me that it was extraterrestrial said humans are living in a nursery. And they didn't say how to get out of the nursery, but they said, we are out of the nursery. And then they left and they never came back. But they played with my mind because I had kind of like what I have now sometimes, this brain fog that comes with fibromyalgia. And I had it really bad at that time, and they cleaned it up, and I could think clearly, really clearly. They took all the shit out of my mind for a little while. I don't know, 15 minutes. And then just before they left, they gave me brain fog again. So it's not natural to have brain fog, and it's not natural to be sick. There are the hologram itself the hologram most likely is creating our physical bodies. Strange, you might think it's biological, but it's very good at fooling us, you know, creating body after body and then having us appear as a new human in a biological sense, but it's holographic. It's amazing how well it confuses us. But the hologram itself, it likes to keep us trapped in here. And I haven't figured out how to get out of it or how to contact those ones who are out. All I know is that there are things in here. It's not genetic disease. It's not toxicities in your atmosphere. It's intelligent life that wants to trap you in here and make you sick, most likely because it can. It's not benevolent. And the one that I call various items is going to make noises now because he's not terribly pleased that I haven't come up with anything new for him to talk about and sneer at, because that's the kind of beings these beings are. They're what I always call archons. They're highly toxic, negative, demonic beings. And they don't like it when I say that because later on they let go of some of their negativity for a little while. But then it comes back again, and it's a cycle. They cycle horrible to not so bad. Once in a blue moon, they almost, not too much. So some of them seem almost friendly. Your takeaway from this talk is thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Tune in tomorrow or go away because I don't have an answer for you. But, if you're looking to pass the time with someone who doesn't seem to be able to figure it out, the demons always says, even Rumpelstiltskin said, no one figures it out. This has been another episode of what we call stories for boys and girls, or stories for girls and boys, campfire stories, ghost stories, Rumpelstiltskin stories, and most likely a boar story. Thanks for watching. I used to be Bob Frizzell, but I'll take the hat off. And I got to come up with a new name. I got to come up with a new character. 33 is a interesting number if you're into numerology. Or in the olden days, there was a lot of Masons. I don't know any Masons anymore. They're pretty much all old people that pretty much all died off. But 33 was one of their special numbers. And I can't tell you anything about 33. If you were a 33rd degree Mason, it meant that you were pretty high up in the hierarchy. You must have known quite a few things, studied quite a bit. They keep putting an advertisement on my Facebook for The Magic of Egypt. It's $100 for all of these movies to stream, and I haven't bought it yet. It's $100. I can probably figure it out on my own.